Hello everyone, Sharad here. I recently saw an interview video of bass maestro Victor Wooten, and the interview was done by another talented bass player, Charles Berthoud. My apologies if I pronounced his last name wrong. Interview was so good that I thought would be a good idea for people to watch that video. I mean, you don't have to be a musician or artist, but as a human being, wouldn't harm if you watch the video and listen what Victor Wooten has to say. Everything he said in the interview made so much sense to me. Now, in case if you don't know who Victor Wooten is, he is one of the best bass player in the world, 5 times Grammy winner, and his style of teaching or his philosophy is so simple yet very effective. So I highly recommend to watch the interview. And thanks to Charles Berthoud for doing the interview and bringing it out for us. As a guitar player myself, I look certain things in a bass player. And when I see Victor playing bass, he not only can do his amazing solo stuffs, but he knows how to make a soloist sound better. He understands the role of his instrument in a bandstand situation very well. So I kind of summarized some of the stuffs that he talked in the interview. So at first I would like to bring the stuffs that he mentioned at the end of the video actually, and it is about the disease he is facing. It's called focal dystonia. Basically what he was facing was like he couldn't play the bass at all. He mentioned that he couldn't even play the C major scale because of this focal dystonia disease. It was so humbling experience to see a maestro like that and mentioning the disease he's facing and talking about it openly and sharing his thoughts and experience that he is going through. It was really humbling, and it also shows what kind of human being he is. He's so humble, he's so down to earth, and he doesn't hesitate to talk about the problem he's facing. He admits that he cannot play anymore as he used to. He also admits that it's frustrating. He said that he went to a beginner level again, which he took it so positively. And it takes a lot of courage and bravery to come out and openly admit, that, for a player like him to that level, to admit everything openly, publicly. And he's so down to earth and he's so humble, and he says that he's learning all the time. He's now in the beginner level. So it takes a lot of courage to admit and say it for a person like Victor Wooten. What a humble guy and what a down to earth person. He relates music to learning language. And of course, we have heard a lot of great musicians saying the same thing. But Victor, the way he says and the way he explains it, I think it's very fascinating to me, and it resonates with me so much. He talks about the importance of feel, groove, and he emphasizes on learning music theory. In musicians' circle, there is this ongoing debate whether learning theory is good or not. But he said something that got my attention so much, that he said, like, theory tells him what to play, even though his ears doesn't recognize it. I think it was really nicely said and really wisely said. He also talks about importance of reading music, right? And of course, same thing as music theory, ongoing debate whether reading is good or bad and blah blah blah. But he again said something like, if you cannot read, you are losing some gigs and you don't even know about it. Again, this very wisely said, very to the point, nicely, wisely, but to the point. Again, besides his musicality and his geniusness as a musician, he talks about life. He talks about getting inspired by life, and he talks openly about taking breaks. Sometimes he doesn't feel like playing it, and then he suggests to go out and get inspired. He said that music is not just music. Life makes music a music. Something like that. He talks about success. He mentioned that people view success as something bigger in future, but for him, success is what he does next. He even said that after the interview, he's going to put those chairs away. And he does something like small things, small steps. That's success for him. And it was so humbling to hear those words coming from that master, that giant musician. It was so humbling. And once again, whatever he's saying, it shows what a down to earth, what a humble person he is. He said that doing those small things, life rewards him. Again, a big bomb of wisdom there. He praised the new generation of musicians, young musicians, and he gives some suggestion to young musicians. And one that really caught my attention is he emphasized, or he explained about the importance of playing with people and playing for people. And he even said that if you don't have anybody to play for, then play for a dog or household animal. And another important thing he mentioned is not only playing with people, but it is also important to deal with people, right? Playing is just the one part, but then again, being around with people, dealing with people, that makes a big difference. So he talks openly about being in a band situation and getting along with people, like for example in a tour, in a tour bus or van, or just being with the people, how important it is as a musician, not just practicing music but also practicing dealing with people. And I think that's a very important aspect of being a musician, is to be able to be around with the people and deal with the people. He also says that play a lot and practice a little. Basically what he means is like make your practice more musical. And once again, it's so like boom, your mind. We as a musician, when we practice, we are so focused in techniques and theory, blah blah blah, this and that, and we unknowingly maybe we tend to forget music. And when we go to the bandstand, we realize that this is not how I want to play, right? So what you practice, it eventually show up in your playing in a bandstand. So it was really eye-opening that he says, make your practicing more musical, or make your practice more musical. He gives a lot of example about how and why he relates music to learning language. And he also mentioned that if you want to learn how to swim, you would learn faster in the water. So simple, but so true. He mentions Cory Wong, and he talks about rhythm guitar playing. And he says something like, before, back in the day, you have to learn how to play rhythm first, and then only solo. And that resonates with me so much, because I grew up in the time when you have to learn to play rhythm guitar first. Forget about the solo. Once you are good with rhythm, then only you can solo. So as a guitar player myself, I agree with that 100%. And I see how the learning guitar has changed so much as compared to how it used to be. I can go on and on about the things what he said in the interview. So that's why I highly recommend you guys to watch his interview and other interviews as well. So the whole interview was pure gold, pure gem, pure diamond, whatever you want to say it. So much wisdom, so much positivity, so much learnings coming from the master himself, who has done it all, seen it all, and still humble enough to say that I'm still learning. So watch the interview, guys. Listen what he has to say. I thank you all here, and we see in the next one. Bye bye.